My friend, if I had to name one invisible force that determines whether a man rises or falls, it wouldn't be intelligence, it wouldn't be talent, it wouldn't even be opportunity. It would be self-confidence. Because without self-confidence, even the most gifted person walks with hesitation. Without it, potential remains locked away, unused, unseen, unclaimed. But with self-confidence, a man with modest skill can move mountains. A woman with a simple idea can change the world. Self-confidence is the foundation. Without it, your definite chief aim is just a dream. Your burning desire fizzles out, your faith weakens, and your persistence breaks under pressure. But here's the truth. Most people are not born with self-confidence. It is not something gifted at birth, it is something built. And like anything worth building, it requires a blueprint, commitment, and daily action. Let me ask you, have you ever stopped yourself from trying something because you feared failure? Have you hesitated to speak up, to take a risk, to lead, because some voice inside whispered, "Who do you think you are?" That voice is not truth. That voice is not your potential. That voice is fear, disguised as logic, and your job starting now was to learn how to silence it. Self-confidence begins with belief. Belief that you are capable, that you are worthy, that you have something unique to contribute. But belief alone is not enough, it must be reinforced, daily. With action? When I interviewed hundreds of the world's most successful men, Carnegie, Edison, Ford, found one unbreakable pattern. They were not immune to fear, but they had trained themselves to move through fear. And that training begins with confidence. Confidence is not arrogance. It is not blind optimism. It is the quiet, unshakable inner voice that says, "No matter what happens, I can figure it out. I will rise. I will grow. I will not be defeated by doubt." But how do you build it? You begin by keeping promises to yourself. Every time you say you'll do something, do it. Even the small things, especially the small things. Wake up when you say you will. Finish what you start. Speak up when it matters. When you follow through, your brain starts to believe you. And belief compounds. Next, feed your mind the right thoughts. You can't grow confidence in a mental environment polluted by negativity, self-pity, or toxic comparison. You must plant new seeds. Speak affirmations. Say them out loud, every single day. It might feel strange at first, but say them anyway. Tell yourself, "I believe in myself. I have the ability to achieve greatness. I am becoming stronger, bolder, more focused every day. I take action with courage. I attract success through belief in my own worth." These aren't just nice words, they are mental programming, and when you repeat them with emotion and consistency, they begin to shape your internal identity, and that identity dictates your behavior. Confidence is not built in comfort, it is built at the edge of your ability, the edge of your fear, the edge of your current limits. Every time you step into the unknown and survive it, you grow. Confidence grows when you prove to yourself that you can handle more than you thought. And yes, you will stumble. You will doubt. That's part of the process. But you must never let temporary failure convince you that you are not enough. Failure does not destroy confidence. Quitting does. So here's your task today. Stop waiting to feel confident. Confidence does not come before action. It comes from action. Do the thing. Take the step. Say the words and let your courage catch up. Because deep inside you is a version of yourself that already knows what to do, already has the strength, already has the confidence. You just have to uncover it by showing up, by standing tall, by choosing every single day to believe that you belong at the table of success. And once you start living with that belief, really living it, everything begins to change. In the next part, we'll explore the enemies of confidence and how to defeat them before they defeat you. But for now, I leave you with this. Your power isn't somewhere out there. It's already inside you. Confidence is the key that unlocks it. And today, you start turning that key. In our last session, we established that self-confidence is the foundation of all success. But now, we must talk about the forces that work against it, the silent enemies that live in your mind, in your habits, in your surroundings. If you don't recognize them, they'll chip away at your belief day by day until one morning you wake up doubting everything about yourself. Let me name them clearly. Fear, self-doubt, criticism, procrastination, and comparison. These are the 5 thieves of confidence, and today we're going to expose them. Let's begin with fear. Fear is the most persistent enemy of confidence. It takes many forms: fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of rejection, even fear of success. And most of the time, fear doesn't shout, it whispers. "You're not ready yet. What if you embarrass yourself? Maybe you should wait." Understand this. Fear is not there to protect you, it's there to keep you small. Fear is a liar in a tailored suit, trying to sound reasonable. But the truth is this: everything you want sits on the other side of fear, and the only way to defeat it is through action. You don't wait for the fear to go away, you walk through it. You do the thing scared, and you gain strength from the doing. Next is self-doubt. This is fear's best friend. It's the internal voice that questions your worth. Are you good enough? Who do you think you are? But here's the thing: doubt is natural. Even the greatest among us face it. The key is not to eliminate doubt, but to overpower it with belief. How? Through evidence. Keep promises to yourself. Stack wins. Remind yourself of past victories. Self-doubt feeds on inaction. The more you sit still, the louder it grows. The more you move forward, the quieter it becomes. Then we face criticism, especially from others. People who haven't dared to chase their dreams will try to talk you out of yours. They'll project their limitations onto you. Don't let them. Feedback from people you respect? Valuable. Criticism from spectators who've never stepped into the arena? Irrelevant. Build a filter. Ask, is this person living the life I want? Do they have the results I respect? If not, their opinion has no weight. Next comes procrastination. Don't underestimate it. Procrastination is not laziness. It's usually fear in disguise. Fear of not doing it perfectly. Fear of failing. So you wait, you plan, you stall, and your confidence withers. Here's a truth you need to tattoo on your mind. Done builds confidence. Perfect does not exist. Take messy action. Build momentum. Confidence isn't about having all the answers. It's about trusting yourself to figure it out along the way. And finally, comparison. In this age of constant scrolling, it's easy to look at someone else's highlight reel and feel like you're falling behind. But comparison is a trap. It steals joy, dilutes focus, and poisons your belief in your own path. You're not here to be a copy of someone else. You're here to live your purpose on your terms. The only person you should compare yourself to is who you were yesterday. Now that we've named these enemies, here's the good news. They only win if you feed them. If you feed fear with avoidance, it grows. If you feed doubt with inaction, it grows. If you feed criticism with obsession, it grows. If you feed procrastination with excuses, it grows. If you feed comparison with insecurity, it grows. But if you starve them, if you feed your mind with belief, take bold action, and stay focused on your own path, your confidence grows instead. So here's your assignment today. Identify which of these enemies has the most power over you. Name it, write it down, and then do the opposite. Move toward what scares you. Take action when you want to delay. Compliment yourself when you feel insecure. Self-confidence is not built by avoiding resistance. It's built by facing it and choosing you anyway. In the next part, we'll talk about how to train confidence daily, how to make it a habit, not a hope. But remember this, your confidence is under constant attack. You must protect it like your future depends on it, because it does. We've talked about what confidence is. We've talked about what kills it. Now let's talk about how to build it. How to treat self-confidence not as some mysterious force, but as a skill, a habit, something that grows stronger the more you work it. Let's get one thing straight. Confidence is not a trait you either have or don't have. That's a lie. Confidence is a muscle. And just like a muscle, if you don't train it, if you don't challenge it, it gets weak. But if you push it, test it, stretch it, it gets stronger than you ever imagined. So the question is, how do you train confidence? Not just feel good for a moment, but install it into your mindset so deeply that it becomes part of who you are. Let me give you the framework that works if you work it. First, you build confidence by keeping promises to yourself. This one's non-negotiable. Every time you say, I'll do it, and then follow through, you tell your brain, I can trust myself. That's where confidence comes from. Trust. Not in the world. Not in luck. But in you. You said you'd wake up early. Did you? You said you'd go to the gym. Did you? You said you'd work on your dream. Did you? If the answer is yes, your confidence grows. If the answer is no, your brain logs that too and your belief shrinks. Start small if you must, but start winning. Stack the evidence. The more you prove to yourself that your word means something, the more unstoppable you become. Second, train yourself to take imperfect action. Perfectionism is the enemy of confidence. You don't build belief by waiting until everything's ready. You build it by moving forward when it isn't. Confidence doesn't say, I'll act when I'm ready. Confidence says, I'll act and then I'll become ready. The more you act while scared, uncertain, or underprepared, the more evidence you collect that fear doesn't control you, and that builds unshakable self-trust. Third, feed your mind every single day. You can't grow confidence on a diet of negativity, gossip, news, and distraction. Your mind is like a garden. If you don't plant roses, weeds will grow by default. So plant power. Read something that builds you up. Listen to someone who pushes you forward. Watch stories of people who've overcome what you're facing. Repetition creates belief. So repeat confidence building content daily. This is your mental gym. Fourth, watch your language. I'm not talking about profanity. I'm talking about how you speak about yourself. I'm terrible at that. I always mess it up. I'm so awkward. Stop that immediately. Because every time you say it, even jokingly, your brain believes it a little more. Your words are instructions. They shape your identity. Speak power. Instead say, I'm getting better at this. I figure things out. I rise fast when I fall. Say it until you believe it and then keep saying it. Fifth, surround yourself with confidence multipliers. Confidence is contagious. So is insecurity. If your circle constantly doubts, complains, and downplays ambition, you will shrink to match them. But if your circle is bold, intentional, and growth-focused, you will rise. Find people who speak life, people who bet on themselves, people who remind you that the game is still wide open and you have every right to win. So here's what I want you to remember today. Confidence is not a feeling you wait for. It's a habit you practice. It's a muscle you train. And every time you take action, when it's easier to hesitate, you get stronger. Every time you speak power, when it's easier to stay silent, you get bolder. Every time you follow through, when no one's watching, you get more dangerous in the best way possible. So stop asking if you feel confident. Ask, did I train it today? In the next part, we'll explore how your self-image shapes your confidence and how to upgrade it. But for now, make a promise to yourself. One small thing, keep it today. Because confidence isn't something you wish for, it's something you earn. If you want lasting self-confidence, it's not enough to change your habits. You've got to change the way you see yourself. Because no matter how much you try to act bold, if deep down you still see yourself as weak, unworthy, or not the type to succeed, you'll sabotage yourself over and over. This is called your self-image, the mental picture you carry of who you are, what you deserve, and what you're capable of. And here's the cold truth. You will never outperform the identity you've accepted as you. You may dream big. You may want more. You may even try harder than most people. But if your self-image is stuck in the past, locked to your mistakes, your insecurities, your old story, you'll keep running into invisible walls. You'll hesitate. You'll second guess. You'll get close, but never cross the line. Why? Because you still see yourself as the person who almost makes it, and until that picture changes, your life can't. So how do you rebuild your self-image? Step 1, get honest about what it looks like today. Ask yourself, how do I describe myself when no one's listening? What do I believe I'm allowed to have? What identity am I still clinging to? You've got to stop letting old stories define your future. Just because you failed, got rejected, quit too early, or felt invisible before that does not mean it's who you are. Those were moments, not your identity. Step 2, create a new internal script. The old image won't die by accident. It has to be replaced. You must deliberately craft a new version of yourself and repeat it like a mantra. Say it in the present tense. Feel it emotionally. I am bold. I am confident under pressure. I trust myself. I make powerful decisions. I belong at the top. Speak it even when it feels untrue, especially when it feels untrue. That's how you reprogram the subconscious. Your brain believes what it hears most often, so feed it on purpose. Step 3, act like the person you're becoming. Don't wait to feel ready. Confidence doesn't come first, identity comes first. Ask, what would the confident version of me do today? What would the best version of me say in this meeting? How would that version of me walk into this room, handle this challenge, respond to this fear? Then do that, even if it feels unnatural, even if it makes you sweat. Because here's the secret. The fastest way to become someone new is to act like them now. Not fake it, train it. The world doesn't respond to who you were. It responds to who you're being. Show up like the version of you who already owns the success you seek, and your brain will catch up. Step 4, surround yourself with mirrors of greatness. People shape identity. If you spend your time with people who doubt themselves, play small, or mock ambition, your confidence will shrink just to fit in. But when you spend time around the bold, the certain, the growth-minded, you rise by association. Confidence becomes your normal. So here's the bottom line. You don't build lasting self-confidence by fixing what's outside. You build it by upgrading what's inside your self-image. And once that internal picture changes, your language changes, your posture changes, your standards change, the world starts treating you differently because you start treating yourself differently. In the next part, we'll explore the connection between self-confidence and failure, and how confident people use setbacks to grow, while others use them as reasons to quit. But for now, start with this. Stop waiting for the world to see you as powerful. Start showing the world how you see yourself. Let's talk about something most people avoid, like the plague: failure. You see, when people think about self-confidence, they picture winning, succeeding, crushing goals, standing tall. But the truth is, your confidence isn't built when everything goes right. It's built when it doesn't. It's forged in the fire of mistakes, rejection, and moments when the plan falls apart. Confidence doesn't come from avoiding failure. It comes from surviving it. Let me tell you something plainly. Failure is not the opposite of confidence. It's the training ground for it. Think about it. When was the last time you really grew as a person when things were easy? Probably never. We don't evolve when everything's working. We evolve when we're stretched, when we fall, when we get knocked down, embarrassed, frustrated, and still get back up. That's where real confidence is born. Not fake hype, not ego, but that quiet, unshakable voice inside that says, "I've been through worse and I'm still standing." Look at any champion, entrepreneur, artist, or leader. They've all failed more times than most people are even willing to try. The only difference? They didn't take failure personally. They didn't let it rewrite their self-worth. They didn't see it as a stop sign. They saw it as feedback. That's the shift. When you stop seeing failure as proof that you're not enough and start seeing it as part of the path you take back your power. So, how do confident people deal with failure? First, they expect it. They don't go into new ventures thinking, "I hope this works perfectly." They think, "I'm going to learn fast, adjust fast, and get stronger with every misstep." They don't resist the fall, they embrace the lesson. Second, they separate failure from identity. Just because the project failed doesn't mean you are a failure. Just because the launch flopped, the deal fell through, or you froze in the moment, doesn't mean you're not built for this. It means you're learning. It means you're building scar tissue. And scar tissue makes you stronger. Third, they reflect without regret. They don't obsess over what went wrong just to beat themselves up. They ask, what worked? What didn't? What will I do differently next time? Then they move on. Quickly. They don't drag failure like luggage into the next opportunity. And fourth, they get back in the game. Confident people don't wait until they feel better. They act again, immediately, because the longer you sit in the sting of failure, the more your doubt grows. Action breaks the cycle. You missed the shot? Take another. You bombed the pitch? Schedule the next one. You hesitated? Go again now. Remember this. Confidence is not perfection. It's recovery speed. It's the ability to stumble and not crumble, to fall and rise faster each time, to tell yourself, this isn't the end, this is how I become who I'm supposed to be. So if you've failed recently, good, that means you're in the arena. Now take the hit, shake off the dust, and get back up with more wisdom, more grit, and more proof that you can handle it. Because the most confident people you'll ever meet, they're not the ones who never fail. They're the ones who failed more and moved anyway. In the next part, we'll talk about how to communicate with confidence so that your voice reflects your value and your presence speaks before you even say a word. But for now, remember this. Your confidence doesn't break when you fail. It breaks when you quit. Let's talk now about something that reveals your confidence before you say a word and either commands respect or loses it in seconds, the way you communicate. You see, your self-confidence isn't just a private feeling. It's something the world sees. It shows up in your tone, your posture, your eye contact, your energy. And the truth is, people will believe in you only as much as you appear to believe in yourself. That's right. How you carry yourself teaches people how to treat you. So let me ask you, do you walk into a room with certainty or do you shrink? Do you speak like your voice matters or do you soften your words, trying not to offend? Do you present ideas with clarity and conviction or do you ramble, apologize, and second-guess yourself? Most people don't realize this, but you're always communicating even when you're silent. And confidence doesn't mean being loud or aggressive. It means being grounded, present, unshakable in the way you show up. So how do you develop that? Let me give it to you straight. First, stand like you belong. Yes, literally. Posture matters. Shoulders back, chin up, feet grounded. When your body says, "I'm here and I matter," your brain catches up, and so do the people around you. Never underestimate the power of presence. You don't need to walk into a room and dominate it, you just need to enter it like you deserve to be there, because you do. Second, speak with intention. Confident people don't mumble. They don't fill silence with fluff. They don't talk in circles. They speak clearly, directly. They pause. They breathe. They allow their words to land. That's what you need to practice. Slowing down, letting your words carry weight. Eliminate weak phrases like, I'm not sure, but, or, this might sound dumb, or, sorry, but. Stop apologizing for your thoughts. Speak like your ideas have value because they do. Third, look people in the eye. Not in a creepy stare-down way, but with openness, presence, and clarity. Eye contact is one of the fastest trust builders we have. It tells the world, I'm not hiding, I believe in what I'm saying, and I respect you enough to be fully here. Fourth, practice being heard. Don't wait for a stage or a perfect moment to develop your voice. Start in everyday situations. Speak up in meetings. Share your thoughts in conversation. Make decisions without outsourcing your voice to everyone else. The more you use your voice, the more natural it becomes. And the more you speak with confidence, the more that confidence becomes who you are, not just something you're trying to fake. Fifth, embrace silence. This might surprise you, but confident people aren't afraid of pauses. They're not rushing to fill gaps with noise. They understand that sometimes silence is power. It gives others space to reflect, and it shows that you're comfortable in no scrambling. Think about the last time someone really held a room. It wasn't because they talked the most, it's because they carried weight. They owned the space. You can too. And here's the final thing, your voice isn't just for others, it's for you. When you start speaking boldly, clearly, and truthfully, you don't just influence the room, you influence yourself. You hear your own power, you reinforce your identity. You feel the shift from uncertain to unshakable. So here's your challenge. Practice in real life, not just in your head. Speak with purpose. Walk with presence. Sit like a leader. Look people in the eye. Stop explaining yourself to people who aren't even listening. The world is full of noise, but confidence, it cuts through. In the next part, we'll go even deeper into how confidence transforms your decision-making and why hesitation is costing you more than you realize. But for now, remember, when you own your voice, you begin to own your life. Let's talk now about one of the most underrated signs of real self-confidence, the ability to make decisions quickly and clearly. If you want to build a successful life, career, business, or anything meaningful, you can't afford to second-guess yourself every step of the way. Indecision is a silent killer. It doesn't make noise like failure. It doesn't announce itself with drama. It just slowly eats away at your time, your energy, your self-trust, until one day you realize you've spent years thinking about your dreams instead of building them. Let me give it to you straight. Confident people decide. They decide who they are. They decide what they want. They decide how they'll move. And once they decide, they act, period. Now, does that mean they always make the right choice? No. But confident people understand something most don't. A wrong decision can be corrected. No decision leads nowhere. The reason most people hesitate isn't because they lack information. It's because they don't trust themselves. They fear choosing wrong, so they wait. They wait for clarity. They wait for permission. They wait for a sign. But let me tell you, confidence is the sign. When you believe in your ability to adapt, you don't need every answer in advance. You don't need to know the whole plan. You just need to know the next step and trust yourself to handle the rest when it comes. Here's how to develop that kind of decisiveness. First, start small. Build decision-making momentum in your daily life. Don't obsess over what to eat or wear or say. Decide, quickly, move. Why? Because every small, confident decision trains your brain to trust you. And the more you trust yourself in the small things, the easier it becomes to move boldly in the big ones. Second, stop outsourcing your power. You can't build self-confidence while constantly asking everyone else what they think. Advice has its place. Mentorship is valuable. But ultimately, this is your life. And only you can decide what aligns with your aim, your values, and your vision. When you always need someone else to validate your choices, what you're really saying is, I don't trust my own judgment. Break that pattern. Decide, own it, learn, adjust. Third, accept that mistakes are part of mastery. You won't always get it right. That's part of the game. But you'll get smarter, stronger, and faster. Most people don't lack the ability to make decisions. They lack the tolerance for mistakes. Change that, and you change everything. Fourth, set deadlines on your own choices. Open loops drain your energy. When a decision drags on for days or weeks, you're wasting bandwidth that could be used for action. Give yourself limits. I'll research this for 24 hours, then I'll choose. That's it. Fifth, remind yourself, clarity comes from movement. You don't get more confident by sitting on the fence. You get more confident by stepping into the unknown and realizing you can figure it out. So here's your challenge. Stop waiting. Pick up the phone. Launch the idea. Say yes or say no. But stop hovering in maybe. Because the more you delay, the more you reinforce the story that you can't be trusted to lead your own life, and that kills confidence. But the more you act even imperfectly, the more you realize you can trust yourself. And once you believe that, you're dangerous in the best way possible. In the next part, we'll dive into how self-confidence affects your relationship. You show up, who you attract, and why confidence is magnetic. But for now, remember this. Hesitation is expensive. Indecision is a luxury you can't afford. And confidence is a decision you make every day. Let's talk about something most people never connect to confidence, but should: your relationships, your friendships, your romantic life, your professional circle. All of it is shaped, whether you realize it or not, by your level of self-confidence. Because confidence doesn't just determine how you feel about yourself. It determines how you let people treat you. It influences who you chase and who you tolerate. It sets the standard for what you attract and what you're willing to walk away from. Let me be blunt. If you lack confidence, you'll accept connections that don't respect your value. You'll people please. You'll shrink to avoid conflict. You'll over-apologize. You'll betray your needs just to keep the peace. And over time, those relationships don't just hurt your heart, they crush your identity. But when you start owning your worth, when your confidence is solid and unshakable, everything shifts. So let's break this down. First, confident people don't chase approval. They're not addicted to validation. They're not scanning the room wondering, do they like me? They show up asking, do I like them? Do their values match mine? Big difference. You see, when you lack confidence, you look for external signs to feel good, likes, compliments, attention. But confident people validate themselves internally. And that makes them powerful because they're not for sale. Second, confident people have boundaries. They don't let people talk down to them, manipulate them, or drain them. They don't stick around in relationships that feel one-sided, disrespectful, or out of alignment. Why? Because they know their worth. And when you truly believe in your value, you don't need drama to feel important. You don't need chaos to feel alive. You don't need to be needed, you want to be respected. Third, confidence makes you magnetic. Ever wonder why some people walk into a room and instantly change the energy? It's not their looks. It's not their money. It's the way they carry themselves. They're not desperate. They're not trying too hard. They're just solid, centered, calm, grounded in who they are. That energy is radiant. Everyone feels it. It's the person who listens fully, speaks with clarity, knows how to say no with kindness and yes with strength. They don't need to be loud. They don't need to be right. They just need to be them authentically. That's confidence, and it draws in healthy, high-quality people who match that energy. Fourth, confidence helps you lead with truth. You don't sugarcoat. You don't play games. You don't hide your standards or shrink your dreams to make others comfortable. You speak up. You state your needs. You ask for what you want. Not with arrogance, but with self-respect. And guess what? The right people will rise to meet you. The wrong people will fall away, and that's a blessing in disguise. So here's the challenge. Stop pretending you're fine with less than you deserve. Stop giving energy to people who drain you. Stop negotiating with those who keep showing you they can't love you well. Start showing up like someone who knows they're worthy of deep, honest, powerful connection. Because that's exactly who you are. And when your confidence leads the way, your relationships don't just improve, they transform. You stop attracting drama and start attracting depth. You stop tolerating crumbs and start commanding respect. You stop performing and start being real. In the next part, we'll explore how confidence fuels leadership in business, in life, and in your mission. But for now, remember this. Confidence isn't just about how you treat yourself. It's about what you allow, what you expect, and what you attract. And when your standards rise, your world rises with them. Let's talk now about a form of confidence that impacts not just your personal growth, but the growth of everyone around you: leadership. Because here's the truth most people miss. You don't need a title to be a leader. You don't need a corner office, a big salary, or a team reporting to you. If you influence people, any people, you're already leading. The only question is, How? And the core of all effective leadership is self-confidence. Not bravado, not control, not ego. Real leadership is grounded in calm, quiet conviction, the kind that makes people feel safe, seen, and inspired to rise. Let me say this loud and clear. You cannot lead others if you don't trust yourself. Because if you're constantly second-guessing your own judgment, apologizing for your decisions, or seeking approval from everyone in the room, you're not leading, you're blending in. People don't follow perfection, they follow certainty. They follow someone who knows who they are, where they're going, and what they stand for. Someone who can say, "This is the direction, let's go." So how do you lead with confidence? Let's break it down. First, know your values. Leadership begins with clarity. What do you believe in? What do you stand for? What's non-negotiable to you? If you don't know, people can feel it. They'll test your boundaries, they'll push your limits, and you'll fold under pressure. But when your values are clear, your decisions become easier. You stop seeking consensus and start taking aligned action. Second, be decisive. As we discussed earlier, confident people make decisions, and so do confident leaders. Not recklessly, not without thought, but without paralysis. You gather information, you trust your intuition, you make the call, because indecision breeds uncertainty, and uncertainty kills momentum. Third, own your presence. When you walk into a room, your energy speaks before you do. Stand tall, make eye contact, speak with purpose. You don't need to dominate the conversation, you just need to bring calm certainty into the room. And listen deeply. The most confident leaders aren't the loudest. They're often the best listeners, because they don't need to prove anything. They're there to understand, to guide, to serve. Fourth, take responsibility, especially when it's uncomfortable. Nothing earns trust faster than a leader who owns their mistakes. If something goes wrong, don't point fingers. Don't deflect. Say, "That's on me. Here's how we fix it." That's what confidence looks like in action. That's leadership. Fifth, build others up. Insecure leaders hoard the spotlight. Confident leaders share it. They recognize talent, they give credit, they lift others without fear of being overshadowed. Because they know, when the team wins, everyone wins. Here's the bottom line. Confidence in leadership isn't about being the smartest in the room, it's about being the clearest. Clear in your vision, clear in your standards, clear in your presence, clear in your belief not just in yourself, but in the people you lead. So whether you're running a company, building a brand, raising a family, or leading your own life, lead from within. Lead with grounded certainty. Lead with the kind of quiet power that doesn't beg for attention but commands it anyway. In the final part, we'll bring everything together and talk about how self-confidence becomes a lifelong acetone that keeps growing as you do. But for now, remember, the most powerful person in the room is not the loudest. It's the one who walks in already knowing they belong there. We've reached the final piece of the puzzle. You've heard how self-confidence powers your goals, your voice, your decisions, your relationships, and your leadership. But now it's time to shift the conversation. Confidence is not just something you have. It's something you become. It's not a moment. It's a way of life. Let me tell you what true confidence looks like at the highest level. It's not about being the loudest in the room. It's not about being the best at everything. It's not about constantly proving yourself. It's deeper, simpler, more powerful. It's a quiet inner knowing, a grounded, calm certainty that says, "I know who I am. I trust myself. I can handle whatever comes next." That's real confidence. The kind that doesn't waver with criticism. The kind that isn't shaken by failure. The kind that doesn't need permission to go after what matters. But here's the truth most people never learn. Confidence isn't built once, it's built daily. Every day, you're either reinforcing or chipping away at it. Every decision you make, every thought you entertain, every boundary you enforce, it all adds up. So the question is no longer, how do I get confidence? The question is, how do I live in a way that protects, builds, and honors it? Let me leave you with some lifelong principles. 1. Keep showing up. Confident people don't always feel ready, they just move anyway. Every time you act despite fear, you prove to yourself that you're stronger than hesitation. 2. Stay in integrity with yourself. Keep your promises, follow through, don't betray your own standards. Confidence erodes fast when you say one thing and do another. 3. Watch your inner dialogue. You are always speaking to yourself. Make sure those words are building you, not breaking you. Speak like someone who's worth it because you are. 4. Build your circle with intention. Confidence grows faster in the right environment. Surround yourself with people who believe in themselves and who believe in you. 5. Make action your habit. Overthinking kills confidence. Movement builds it. Even small action beats big doubt. When in doubt, take the step. 6. Accept that you will fall but rise faster. You're human. You'll make mistakes. You'll freeze. You'll doubt. That's okay. But bounce back stronger. Your resilience is more impressive than your perfection. 7. Celebrate your progress. Don't wait until you've hit the big goal to feel proud. Confidence is built in the process and the reps, in the growth, in the days you didn't quit. Because ultimately, confidence isn't about how the world sees you. It's about how you see yourself. It's about walking through life knowing you are capable, worthy, prepared, and evolving. It's about being anchored in a chaotic world. It's about being your own source of power no matter what's happening around you. So, as we wrap this series, let me leave you with this. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not less than. You are a work in progress with fire in your gut and gold in your soul. You have everything it takes not just to believe in yourself, but to become the version of you the world needs to see. So go walk like it. Speak like it. Live like it. Own it. Because confidence doesn't wait for permission. And starting today, neither should you.